Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday. So, this is a chit chat video. I wanted to come on and recap my weekend. I know there were a lot of people following the story. A lot of people donated, and I wanted to make sure that I updated everybody. So, a few things I learned about this trip. Number one, like any good poker game, you have to know when to fold. And number two, that kind of goes with number one, trust your gut. Number three, I'm not as young as I used to be. So a long haul drive wore me out. What else? I was quite naive as far as weather and natural disasters, and never having seen anything like that in my life. I've certainly gone into areas where tornadoes had hit, and I've seen that devastation, but the amount of debris and I've never seen anything like it, you guys. It's very hard for me to describe. Kayla and her family are extremely lucky just outside of their quaint little neighborhood, which is a very nice area. It was just devastated, and they're very lucky that their home was not destroyed. I mean, a street over was just decimated by huge trees. I've never seen so many trees, gargantuan trees, uprooted, and it felt like the damage stretched for at least 100 miles. Could have been less, but driving across the Perdido Bay Bridge, I've never seen the ocean that high, and I've never seen the water that choppy. It was very unfortunate. It really brought it back down for me. I'm grateful that I don't live in an area that is subject to that sort of weather threat. And I know this is the first time Kayla and her family had to go through something like this. She did not live this close to the water before, so yeah. So in saying that, as everybody knows, we raised a good bit of money to bring supplies to Kayla and her family in their little community. The first night, I really, really, really wanted to get there. There was a curfew in place at 7 p.m. I arrived there right at 7 p.m. and quickly got lost. And I say lost, turns out I was really close to Kayla, but the GPS at some point lost signal, but yet it was still giving us directions, and we didn't realize that we had gone in a circle until we reached a washed out road for the second time. So really no warning at the washed out roads, and so we called it quits and we went to a hotel. Well, when I left Kayla's and got back on the road to go home, I was just, thinking, and Miss Sheila had been extremely concerned for us, especially traveling at night. And I was thinking about that and her comments that she had made, and just as I was thinking, I looked up and passed a road called Allen Road. And that's Miss Sheila's last name. And it was just like, it was just resonating to me that had we gotten to Kayla's house in the dark and then left to try and go find a hotel at that point, part of the roads around Kayla's house still were not clear. They had one lane on many of the roads, and the other lane was completely full of debris, dangerous debris. And had we traveled or attempted to travel through that night, I do believe that we would have either killed ourselves or I would have totaled the truck. It was dangerous. At one point, we traveled through the Perdido River management area, and we had gone 12 or 13 miles down the road, no signs whatsoever. You turn a little bit in a curve, and all of a sudden there's a bridge, and just on the other side of the bridge was completely underwater. So we actually needed to stretch our legs at that point. We got out and we took that opportunity to stretch, but the water, the smells, you guys, we saw no wildlife whatsoever. We saw roadkill, but I don't count that. We saw no rabbits. We saw very few birds. No wildlife. It was eerie, especially in an area like that. In the river management area, you would expect to see a possum or even a deer as early as it was in the afternoon, but nothing. We saw nothing. At the river, you could smell that fresh water was overpowered by the smell of seawater, and it was moving so rapidly. Just standing on the bridge, you could have reached over and touched the water with your hand. That's how high it still was. And again, the road was washed out, so we did have to backtrack. And the GPS kept trying to take us close to the river, and I knew if it was washed out there, it was going to be washed out further up. So we actually had to travel many miles just to finally go around an area of the Perdido River that was not immersed in water. So in all, I think when I left Kayla's house yesterday morning, it took us about 7 hours to get home. That was with many restroom breaks, but normally a trip to her house per the mileage would have only taken 5 hours. So it took 7 hours, which was completely fine, but again, it was just very sobering. The only sounds near, when I've been to Perdido Beach, it's a beach town, so you hear the waves, you hear the seagulls, and there were no sounds like that. The sounds were masked with chainsaws and generators, still thousands without power, homes right up on the bay or on the ocean were decimated. Some homes had no roofs. Some homes had, just their beams showing, and you could see tin wrapped around what trees there were. On many of the roads, I saw a playhouse in the middle of nowhere. There were no homes around, and there was just a plastic Little Tikes playhouse tossed in the trees, and we saw 2 vehicles that looked like they had literally backed up the trees, and no windows were in them, and maybe somebody had broken down right before the hurricane and their cars were swept away, but it was just something I wasn't prepared for. A lot of the roads, the big, huge, tall trees were coming down and were only held by the electrical wires. And I was super grateful to finally get off of that road and get on the main highway, because at any moment those wires could have given out and brought that tree on down across the road. And they were so tall, it would have just, gone down and completely covered. And that's super dangerous. I was really nervous. I didn't alert Obi to that because there were there were so many trees just laid over on the wires. I didn't want to make him any more nervous than we already were. We didn't take any pictures of that sort of damage because he really truly had to be my second set of eyes. And it was a tense drive out of there. The further we got back into Pensacola to come back the way I'm familiar with, the gas lines and people fighting at the gas stations. I've never seen anything like that in my 42 years. So I'm grateful that I was able to go. I'm grateful for the experience. And the optimist in me, like I told the Golden Girls, was that, this was Kayla's first experience with this, so we helped provide her so that they'll be safe next time. They have plenty of gas cans for their little community. They can now afford to have gas in their vehicle and travel further out to find groceries because stores there were completely closed and they were wiped out of food. There were no fast food outlets open at all. And so with that gas, they'll be able to go further out and hopefully find supplies. You guys provided 6 gas cans. 4 of those were 5-gallon gas cans and 2 were 2-gallon gas cans. And they're the safety ones. So they were safe. We just bungeed them in a line in the back of the truck and got them filled about 100 miles out, so it wasn't too dangerous for us to travel with fuel. We were able to purchase about $300 worth of non-perishable food items and snacks and drinks. And then we had some money left over, definitely, outside of my gas. And so I was able to give that to Kayla to replenish the food that they had lost to defrosting. They had a fridge full and a freezer full of food, you guys. And they only managed to save, I think, 2 packs of meat. So her husband is in construction and he works on the beach. And there's been no work, so that means there's no paycheck. And I thought it would be best to make sure that they can survive and replace that food. So everything has gone to great use. The community now has charcoal. They have the grill. Kayla was able to have a hot meal last night for the first time in days. And they went to bed with their tummies full and don't have to worry this week about not having food. And that hits home for me personally, and I've spoken about that here on my channel before. But it's something as part of what I've gone through and my personal trauma. It terrifies me to be without food for my family. So we were able to take care of that. Plus, I got to meet one of my crafty friends, and you guys helped that happen. So without you, I wouldn't have been able to get there. Without your donations, I wouldn't have had the amount of gas I needed, which turned out because it turned out to be a little bit more. My mom covered the hotel stay and our food, so I did try and use the least amount of that money that I needed because I wanted it to go for Kayla and the intended purpose. So, now they're better prepared for next time. They have a grill, they have lighter fluid, they have cat food now, and I got to pet a cat while I was away. I'm all about the pets, so I was happy to meet the kitty. And a little bit of sweet news, I ended up scoring some crafty things that Kayla had set aside for me, and which that was super sweet. So she saved postage by being able to give it to me in person, and I got a hug even though it was COVID. we did hug really quick and we stayed apart for the rest of the visit. Her family is just as sweet in person as they are on the phone or on YouTube. And her son, I know you're not supposed to say boys are pretty, but this young man, he was so sweet. He was, his eyes, you guys, I mean, he had the sweetest face. He has a tan complexion. He had his little mohawk and these piercing blue eyes. He was an absolute doll, and he was so polite and so kind. And it was a joy, joy, joy to be able to meet Kayla, Billy, and Corbin in person. So without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to do this. Yeah, it was a bit more stressful than I anticipated, but my heart is so happy, and I'm borderline emotional over it because so much could have gone wrong. So much could have gone wrong, but you guys and our prayer warriors made sure that I got there safely, and that we got home. We got home yesterday, right around 7:30. I clocked into work and worked until I literally couldn't keep my eyes open at like 10:30. So I didn't pay back my whole 5 hours, but I'll make it up today at some point. It's not a big deal. But yeah, so let me go ahead and show you guys what I scored from Kayla. And I'm going to cover one of these words up. But this is an adult coloring book, and it's very cheeky and says a bad word. So inside are these epic coloring pages, and Kayla and Billy knew I would get a kick out of this. So I am really in love with this, and can't wait to color some stuff. And then she also grabbed the My Mind's Eye Lovely Day. I love this collection, and now I have 2 of the 12 by 12s. I have the stickers. I have a 6 by 6 and another pack of ephemera. So I didn't have the 6 by 6. Now I have 3 ephemeras, 2 of these, and I will be able to make an epic project of some sort. I don't know what I'm going to make with it yet. It would be perfect for a junk journal if I decide to take the plunge and do one. But this is one of those collections, you guys. It is so pretty. I've been afraid to dig into it. I don't know what it is about these muted colors and the vintage aesthetic that it lends, but I love it. And I cannot wait to make something with it. So super, super awesome, and I am very excited for that. And I got some of Kayla's flatbacks that she has been making. If you follow her over on Instagram, she has these when she makes a batch, and she has done all kinds of different colors. So these are a lighter purple. These are a darker purple, but they're almost, it's almost like they're see-through, but they're not. So those are really cool. Perfect for Halloween. We have some orange ones, and I like this color orange. It's a solid orange. It's a good pumpkin orange. Like, how can you describe orange? I don't know. Then we have a little multi-pack. I told her she should sell these. We have a dark mint, or a turquoise maybe. We have some really cute red and white, and we have some pink and white, and then this is like a little Christmassy mix. So there's red and white, and then the multi ones that look like peppermints. I don't know how you do those, unless obviously the beads must be colored. I haven't tried this project. And then we have some light pink, some dark pink. I think these are made from pony beads, if I'm not mistaken. This is a really cool purple and pink. Then we have, these look like they must glow in the dark. That'll be cool for Halloween. Then we have some Tiffany blue. Then we have a green for Christmas. Then we have a magenta. That's coming off red, but it's very magenta in real life. We have a blue, a royal blue, a yellow, a black, a dark teal. Man, these are great. What a variety. Some awesome black and white ones. I don't know why, but this makes me think Beetlejuice every time. We have a lavender. And we have a milky white. So not clear, but not stark white. Very cool milky white. Awesome. Look at all that. I'd pay good money for these. She should really sell them. Alright, you guys. So that is a recap of my weekend adventure. Today is catch-up day on housework. I went out and got a gigantic coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. We ran out of coffee while I was away, so I definitely, this morning was not a morning I could go without coffee. So I did that. I'm going to catch up on some chores here. Excuse me. I do have a few, I'll probably do this in another video. I need to close the sign-ups for the collab. But I had 3 people at last count that are international. So, Rare Rue, if you see this video, I would like you to sign up for the collab because I have a partner for you. And she is in France. And then I also have Orlando Tassoni. She is in Canada. So far, I don't have another international person to partner her with, and she was a little bit late, but Orlando is like my people, and she's always super supportive of our collab. So if I can't find another, I've already committed myself to being a newbie partner with someone, because, you know, when Orlando was in it last year, I was her partner. But I'd like to extend a request to those of you who I've already emailed and you're on the team. If there's someone out there that wouldn't mind an international partner, I would really love to have Orlando in the collab, and anyone would be happy to have her as a partner. She's an exceptional crafter. She makes beautiful things. And she's just a lovely person all around, as most everyone that has entered this collab. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I need Sarah Raru to let me know that you would like to join, because I do have somebody else that would like to join, and y'all are international. So you two were the first two. If that's okay with you, Sarah, I'd like to invite you and Leslie to be a part of the collab. And then Orlando, if there's somebody who's already on the collab team that's in the US, if you guys don't mind international, I'd love to have her on board as well. And then we can formally cut it off at that. And I don't think it's at 20, but that's okay. So with that said, you guys, I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday. I've enjoyed my time away with Obi. It was stressful, but it was good to get out of the house, to have some bonding time. He cracks me up. He was upset. Well, you guys heard in the other video, he was upset at the first road closure because there was no warning, and when we were forced to turn around, we didn't even realize at that point that the water was over the road. So I turned around on railroad tracks, and I asked him to lower his window so that we could, so that I could see out of the mirror to back up. And when we did, we looked over and we saw the glistening. It was right at dusk, so it was very hard to see, and we saw the water glistening, and we made it a joke. We were like, oh, there's alligators over there. When in reality, there probably could have been. But, so it was a good trip. It was stressful. It was good. And that so outweighs anything that I'm experiencing today as far as being old and being sore from driving. So all in all, it was a blessing, and you guys made it happen. And I just want everybody to know that without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And this will be remembered for a very long time in this community. And time again, I am just blown away by everyone's generosity and true willingness and caring hearts. And no matter what you see on the news, no matter what you hear in your community, no matter what happens here in the craft community sometimes, we rise above it and we come together as a team, and it just blows me away. And you guys should be so proud of yourselves, because it didn't matter what the amount of money was. It was making sure that this family was safe, making sure that I was able to get there. I am so grateful that I was only 5 hours away. Like, so grateful. And that makes my charity heart happy. Not that Kayla's a charity case, but the fact that I was able to serve. That's really my heart's desire, is to serve, because I am a firm believer in put in what you want to receive, do unto others, and if you put good in, you get good. So that's where I stand on that. I know this has been a long video, but I wanted everybody to know exactly what I'd done with the funds, and I wanted to describe to you a little bit what we encountered and what we witnessed. So if you follow me on Instagram, I did post this morning a few of the pictures that we took while we were on the Perdido River Bridge. You can head over there and see those and see how high the water was, and just get a small glance of what we saw. So that was the safest place to take pictures, because we were out walking, like I said, stretching our legs. So I'm going to go finish my coffee now, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Much love to each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.